Hey, what's going on everyone in the Jason Nation? My name is Jason and welcome to What If It Can Mega. This is a series where Hidden Potential and I go over what it would look like if a certain Pokemon got its own Mega Evolution. This week's video will be covering the most underappreciated flying type in the 4th generation, CHATOT. Before we start this video, I want to let you all know that in the description there will be links provided to all the previous episodes of this series, and a link to a playlist that as well corresponds with this series, so you can subscribe to that playlist as well as my channel so you'll be notified when a new episode goes live. As well as if you're new to this series, Mike and I usually upload one episode every 2 weeks. Due to time constraints as well as having everyone involved in the making of the series come together all at the same time isn't the most easiest task, because time zones can be quite an annoyance and it does prevent us from getting it all done in like 1 or 2 sittings, so we need some extra time to make sure the most quality possible goes into the series. Also, this series is based upon viewer suggestions, meaning that you all who are watching this video can actually submit your own ideas to be created. So by leaving a comment with suggestions for any Pokemon to get a Mega Evolution with a new typing, ability changes, stat changes, movesets, etc., you can all leave that in the comment. If you want to include that in the comment, then you have a higher chance of getting picked than just leaving a comment like, Mega Venomoth, because then you leave it all up to us. So if you want to get your own idea, put a little bit of effort into making the comment, I guess. Also, if you enjoy this video at any time, please consider dropping a thumbs up on the video. I would really appreciate it, and a lot of people don't actually know how much of an impact a like rating does on a video, but essentially it just helps the video get ranked higher and allows more people to see it. So in short, it's just really helpful for my channel's growth, and if you guys support me, that's the best way to show it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this new episode. So, it's time. It's finally time. This thing right here. He's finally getting a Mega Evolution, goddammit. It's about time, man. It's about time. Not really, he's not. But we're making him one, so that's pretty much the same thing, I guess. Let's take a look at the custom Mega Evolution drawing for Mega CHATOT. Of course, designed by our awesome artist, Cosmic Wolf Bear. The link to her channel is going to be in the description if you want to go check it out. This design was suggested by Mr. Riley Shea in the comment section of the Breloom video. He said CHATOT should become a steel flying type and have a piano theme. Thanks for the awesome suggestion, by the way, dude. That's actually like a really neat idea. I think I've actually heard something similar to this at one point on a different comment on one of these What If It Can Mega videos, but when I went back to go look for all the comments that could have been like similar to a Mega CHATOT, I didn't find any. This was the only one that I found, so maybe that person had deleted their comment or just never began, or it was never there to begin with. But nevertheless, let's cover the design first of all and the initial changes and whatnot we made to CHATOT before I pass this over to Mike. So start off with the design. When I initially went to our artist, I said I wanted it to have the piano theme and whatnot, and I wanted it to look more like music theme, because a piano theme, it already corresponds with CHATOT being a very vocal Pokemon, having moves like chatter and stuff like that allow it to use its voice to use attacks like lethal attacks and whatnot. So I figured with moves like Boom Burst and Chatter and I think Uproar as well, I think it gets that too, it has a lot of sound-based attacks, meaning that this thing is perfectly fitting the role of a music type Pokemon, should there have ever been such a thing. So we decided to make this thing a steel flying, well, Riley decided to make a steel flying type, but we decided to make this thing all around look pretty damn awesome. Plus our artist actually added in her own twist into it as well. We didn't mention the colorful tail and whatnot, but that turned out amazing too. As you can see, it has a music note pattern all along its tail and whatnot, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It's like one of the coolest designs. I think in fact is probably the coolest design we've had on here so far. Along with its new steel flying typing, it also does get a new ability, which is really awesome, and this ability is called Metaliate, and Metaliate is essentially the same thing as like another attack changing ability, where essentially it's like Pixelate or Aerialate, where any normal type moves now, instead of being just normal, they become steel type, so you get stab on them. So now this thing's Boom Burst can become a steel type move and he'll get stab on it, and Mike has a lot of sets here that are actually going to be able to make CHATOT a lot better with its special special attack and be able to set up with this thing perfectly with how bulky it is. Before we get over to Mike's part of the video though, I want to also mention that if CHATOT ever becomes a thing in the 4th gen remake, should those ever happen, I definitely hope that they do a design similar to this where they make it a steel flying type with a music type of thing. I don't think they'll use our design, but something similar would be absolutely awesome, because I would love to have a Mega CHATOT in a 4th gen playthrough. That would be just the most amazing thing ever. On top of that, Mega CHATOT has also gotten some pretty good stat changes while still staying below the 100 point increase that they usually go with, and those stats are as following: minus 40 attack, minus 50 speed, plus 50 special defense, plus 40 special attack, and plus 100 defense. This allows this thing to become a bulky special attacker once set up properly. Now from here, I'm gonna let Mike talk to you guys about the competitive side of this Pokemon.
Mega CHATOT fits very well into the OU and VGC tiers, each of their own respectively, being able to do different things in each. Its resistances being 2 times resistance to grass and bug, and having a half resistance to normal, flying, psychic, dragon, steel and fairy, and having immunities to poison and ground, making it be able to ball out pretty much all things that can hit it. The only 2 weaknesses it has is fire and electric, but as you can see on the first moveset and a couple of the others throughout this set showcase, we can avoid that electric weakness by speed creeping things with electric moves with Roost. Roost is a move that heals your HP by, I'm pretty sure, 50%, yeah, 50%. And it removes its flying typing until the turn ends. And so by speed creeping, you're able to get your Roost off, get rid of your flying typing, and then not be weak to electric. So things like Rotom Wash, if you run enough speed EVs, if you don't know what speed creep means, you're able to just outspeed some Rotom Wash sets. Completely depends what the opponent runs. Maybe they'll try and speed creep your speed creep, it doesn't really matter. As long as you build in a way which you're comfortable, then that's fine, but if you want to be able to get a safe Roost off without taking electric type damage, it's fine. You're able to speed creep and do Roost. The rest of the moves on this set, and the EV spread to start off with, is 248 HP. Now, most of these sets, if they're 1 HP, have 248 HP, or enough to make it an odd number. If you don't know what an odd number does for your HP, it means that you're able to take as many Stealth Rock damages as possible when switching in. So say if you have an even amount, if you're chunking your HP by 20% each time you switch into Stealth Rocks, you're going to be taken out in 5 turns. But if you're in an odd number, then you're going to live 6 turns, because it's going to take 6 chunks of your HP, because you'll have a little bit remainder once the 5 chunks have gone, if that makes sense. If you don't, then you can go look up Stealth Rock on Pokemon and DB and it'll explain it a little bit more. Now, with the moveset, it's Boom Burst, Chatter, Roost, and Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot gives CHATOT +2 special attack and allows Boom Burst to 2-hit KO defensive Rotom Wash. May I make note of the fact I say defensive Rotom Wash, as in the physical side. If it's specially defensive, you're going to have to change Chatter, which is a move that always confuses the target, being a flying type move. This move specifically can be substituted, like I just said, for Hidden Power Grass. This allows CHATOT to hit Rotom Wash for more damage than you would with Chatter and Boom Burst. But by running Hidden Power Grass, you're lowering your coverage options against most of the mons in the OU tier. Mega CHATOT suffers from the same thing that Greninja suffered from while being an OU, which is the 4 moveset syndrome. By having 4 moves, you're only limited to so much coverage, and so you have to have the correct team support to be able to deal with things that you aren't able to hit super effectively. And so if you run something like a Conkeldurr alongside CHATOT, you're able to stop Heatran from being able to Lava Plume you, and maybe you'll get the Guts boost as well. If you run a Heatran alongside your CHATOT, you're able to stop Rotom Wash from Volt switching as efficiently because it's a special defensive Pokemon. But if you're worried about Hydro Pumped, maybe you want to go with something like Venusaur, especially defensive, maybe run like a speed creep Venusaur to be able to outspeed Rotom Wash slightly. Now, before I cover the rest of the moves that CHATOT can get, I want to talk about some of the other sets that you can use. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the PU tier, then you won't know what Probopass can do in the tier. Probopass is a very slow Pokemon that's commonly run with Volt Switch. If you're asking why, I'm about to explain it, so good question. Volt Switch, while slow, allows you to take a hit then switch into a Pokemon freely without that Pokemon taking any extra damage than it should. Because CHATOT is so bulky, you're able to use U-turn to pivot out and bring in another Pokemon safely, such as maybe a Azumarill on a fire type that you can then set up belly drums with. The rest of the move on this moveset is Boom Burst, Heat Wave, and Hidden Ground. This gives you enough coverage to be able to hit most things in the U tier, excluding Rotom Wash. So like I said, Sapphire is a very good partner for this specific CHATOT. The next moveset for OU is kind of gimmicky. You have Substitute there, which means that you have a kind of like a defensive wall to stop incoming super effective hits, while also being able to use Echoed Voice behind the Substitute. Echoed Voice is a move where every single turn it increases in base power. And so, if you want to eventually do more damage than you would with Boom Burst, I'd highly suggest using Echoed Voice. But if you want safe, reliable, constant damage, this is a good substitute, being Boom Burst over Echoed Voice. Roost allows you to heal while behind the Substitute, because you don't have leftovers to be able to heal the Substitute damage, while Nasty Plot allows you to do as much damage with either Echoed Voice or Boom Burst respectively. The final moveset for CHATOT is for VGC, having Tailwind, Hyper Voice, Roost and Protect, with the bulky Special Sweeper set on Showdown. This allows CHATOT to be able to protect itself with Protect from incoming Fake Outs, Heat Waves, Lava Plumes, etc. Tailwind allows you to give team support with speed control to be able to allow your certain mons on the team to be able to outspeed your opponent. Things such as Talonflame will be able to outspeed other Talonflames and maybe KO them with a Brave Bird. Other things like that. It's just a really good support Pokemon to run alongside different things, and the fact that it has the Steel Flying typing allows you to resist things like Hyper Voice from Sylveon and certain Dragon moves like, Dragon Claw. Outrage isn't seen as much, but it's a thing. Draco Meteor is a thing from Garchomp and also Hydreigon and Latios, so you're able to survive those, but Hydreigon also gets Fire Blast, so you got to be careful with that. Hyper Voice is there because it hits both your opponents. Boom Burst could be used, but it also hits your teammate Boom Burst, so you got to be careful while you're running Boom Burst, which is why I prefer Hyper Voice, because it still does a lot of damage, but it doesn't have that risk of being able to hit your teammates and maybe even KOing your own Pokemon, because that's not what you want to have happen in VGC. The final move is Roost, so again, if you want to speed creep your opponents, you can, but I'd have as much special attack damage as possible, just so you're able to get as much KOs as you possibly want. Now, like I said at the beginning, I want to talk about some of the substitutions you can use in CHATOT's moveset, depending if you want to run it as a wall or just anything really. The first set that I wanted to talk about is the one with Snore, which is at the bottom of the moveset here. But Snore allows you to attack while asleep, and because I'm Retaliate, you're able to change it into a Steel type move and get the boost. This is a decent set, although I feel like Roost Boom Burst is a lot better. If you want to have the full recovery being Roost and get rid of things like Thunder Wave and Burns on your CHATOT, then this is probably a safer option. Ominous Wind is an option because it does the same amount of damage as what Hidden Power Ghost would do, and it also gives you a 10% chance to be able to boost all of your stats. So if you're looking to get really bulky and have a really gimmicky set, maybe you're able to skill swap Serene Grace onto your CHATOT, so you're able to get Ominous Wind and then boost all your stats, but it's completely up to you. It's just kind of like a fun move that I saw in its moveset, which is pretty nice. And finally, the last two are Nightshade and Synchronize. Nightshade speaks for itself. It's able to get a constant amount of 50/100 damage, depending if you're running it in VGC where the levels are 50, or OU where the levels are 100. Finally, like I said, Synchronize. Synchronize is a move that hits the same type as you. So, if you're a Steel and Flying type, you're able to hit other Steel types with Synchronize, which is not very good because, Steel resists Psychic, and other Flying types. And the fact that it hits Flying types means that you're able to hit things like Talonflame for a very powerful move. Might not be Stab like Chatter or Air Cutter, but you're able to still use a very powerful move, and it's really worth it, to be honest, because then you're able to run two very strong moves, being Boom Burst, which has 140 power, and Synchronize having 120 power. All in all, CHATOT fits very well into OU, being able to be a very bulky wall, being able to slow switch things, speed creep, Rotom Wash with Roost, and it fits into VGC well because of its speed control moves such as Tailwind and the ability to hit both the opponents with Hyper Voice.
All in all, I really do love this design. The idea to make Mega CHATOT have a musical theme is absolutely brilliant if you ask me. Remember that if you want a chance to possibly get your Mega Evolution idea to come to life, then please leave a comment with your idea laid out as neatly as possible, and who knows, maybe you'll even get picked for one of these videos. But now it's come to that sad time of the video where we have to end off. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider dropping a thumbs up, as it would really help the video grow and my channel grow and help more people see this series, and maybe they can even enjoy it too. On screen, you have two videos here. One of them is a link to the playlist of What If It Can Mega, where you can actually go there and watch all of those different videos that we have made for this series so far, and you can let us know your thoughts on them as well. And that is on the left side. On the right side is the first episode of the Pokemon Platinum randomized Chancelocke, and that is a brand new series we started about a week ago. Please no jokes about that. So you can go watch that if you'd like by clicking on the screen, and if you're on mobile, like you're on your phone or your tablet or something like that, there's a link in the the description to both the playlist of What If It Can Mega and the playlist to the Chancelocke, so you can go there and check those out. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.
Hate this, yeah, but you should know that I don't care. No, I don't care.